Yeah, I'm leaving my shit running every time. Hey, it's gonna fuck them up when you pop out with the They come off the
A male dolphin most likely is out here looking for a quick bite to eat or looking for a lady dolphin. Keep your porpoise peepers peeled, everybody. That one just came right up to us and I have no clue where he's going to pop up. They do tend to hold their breath every 30 seconds or so, but they are known to hold their breath for up to 10 minutes at a really large boat right in front of us. So keep your eyes peeled for a dorsal fin. The species of dolphin that we're out here looking for and looking at, if that guy does pop back up, is the Atlantic bottlenose dolphin. They do not get their bottlenose name after enjoying a beer or two. It is because their little nose on the very snout there is shaped like a bottle. Fun fact is these dolphins have absolutely no sense of smell whatsoever, so that nose is actually called a rostrum. This is to help with their aerodynamic qualities underneath the water, making them one of the fastest swimmers. He's still hanging out around our right-hand side, everybody. He's just cruising along with us. Gonna emerge around our 3 o'clock position there. A little bit further, you will see Pier 60. Unfortunately, the latter half of the pier, the one stretching out into the water there, is going to be closed down due to the back-to-back hurricanes we had last year. but the portion closest towards the sand is open to the public if you're wanting a pretty good view over the water. That large building that you see right in the middle section there is their bait shack. Back in the day, they did make their money off of renting out swimsuits to beachgoers. Ew. They do make their money nowadays off of renting out fishing equipment, and I do believe we are all off for the better. We do have a pod of dolphins out here, maybe 3 or more dolphins. Usually these are all female dolphins. These pods do run in matriarchies, mainly relatives, so moms, sisters, grandmas, anything that you could think of. The females will stick together and actually form nursery pods when they do eventually have their babies. Now, the typical gestation for a dolphin is around 12 months, but it is very worth it to see that little baby dolphin at the end of the year. They're around the size of a football when they're very first born and will nurse with their moms for about 3 years. Out here. Now, when those babies are very first born, they do come with a set of little tiger stripes on their back that are there for camouflage reasons, but also they are called fetal folds for being smushed inside their moms for that way. Each and every day, we do in fact have a baby with us. It's going to be the ones right in front of us, off to our slightly left-hand side there. If you're curious about which one's the baby, it is going to be the smaller dolphin. Most likely this pod is teaching that little baby how to hunt out here. They usually eat things like small bait fish, crustaceans such as crabs, lobsters, and also squid and octopus, but their all-time favorite snack are small children who misbehave on vacation. Not only do they need to keep up with their hunger, they also consume that 20% because they cannot consume the salt water that they live in. So they actually get their fresh water from all the fish and wildlife out in mirrors. That dolphin is just having a load of fun right now, flipping on his back, just surfing in those waves right near that buoy there. That is an adolescent. If y'all were able to get a look at his belly there, you will notice that his belly is a little pink, and that is because he is blushing. Does anybody know why he is blushing? It's because he saw the ocean's bottom. It does look like they're headed towards the pier now.
writing stars upon these troubled hands, seeing something beautiful inside a grain of sand. I see the usefulness.
Right at hour 12 o'clock, everybody. These ones are getting fairly close. And it does look like we have yet another baby in this pod. Harass them is a federal offense and costs you a pretty hefty fine as well as jail time. We have got just a show happening up here right now. Really awesome hearing and really impeccable eyesight. That hearing that they use is from their echolocation, which acts almost like an underwater sonar. It's a series of clicks and whistles that they use to communicate out here, meaning that each and every dolphin that we're seeing right now has their very own signature set of clicks and whistles for their very own names. Y'all are going to have to excuse me, I am having a fit of hiccups right now. It does actually look like we have a baby and a juvenile in this pod. Double baby action, I'm loving it. These nursery pods are known to group up together sometimes to have. Does also look like we're getting joined by another pod up towards our front region there. Dolphins right at our 11 o'clock there. I do absolutely have to say, y'all are a lucky group. Sometimes we're lucky to see a few pods out here, but to see a pod this size is just absolutely incredible. We are getting some splashing action as well. That larger fin that you're seeing on the back of those dolphins is one of the strongest muscles that they have in their entire bodies. It is called something kind of funny, a peduncle. That guy is definitely showing off right there. Nobody panic, we've got a very large blue shark right behind us. At home that it was just about. We might actually have about 3 babies in that pod. There is definitely a little baby in there. Look for the one that's about the size of a 2-liter bottle of soda. You may notice that that one does have those little stripes that I mentioned earlier called fetal folds. If we're also lucky enough to see it, you may also see his little goatee and whiskers. Those are used for the nursing process, as I stated earlier. But we do have a chance to see them now if he does want to show off a little bit. It does look like these dolphins are absolutely loving the attention they're getting right now. I would like to say to everybody, ooh, a lot of splashing action happening in front of us there. These dolphins can absolutely hear us, and like I said, they are loving the attention. So can I get a bit of...
Alrighty, folks. These dolphins are not on a schedule, but we are. Time for us to head back towards the marina.
Can I get a...